What you're seeing now is not a complete episode of Dragon Ball Shinken, just a small update to the story so fans don't have to wait too long. Stay tuned for this preview now, and soon you'll see the complete episode made with all of our dedication. Episode 31, The Evil Angels' Dastardly Plan, Part 2. Vaud's private dimension trembles, while the angel himself also lets some involuntary tremors pass through his body. The person responsible for this is Gohan, who releases his energy with great intensity while showing his beast form. His power is extraordinary, causing even that particular dimension of an angel to suffer several anomalies in its ecosystem thanks to the Saiyan's bestial power. I can't believe this bastard had so much power, the evil angel thinks, letting his surprise clearly appear on his face. Even knowing that Gohan is the son of the mighty Vegeta, Vaud had no idea that someone so young could have such high power. He clearly shows his astonishment through his expressions as he gapes at Gohan. Gohan stares at the enemy, looking straight into his eyes. The Saiyan warrior's eyes demonstrate seriousness, concentration, and above all, confidence in his victory. He finally calls his opponent to his point. Come on, Angel, let's see who will feel true despair. Vaud, who was previously cornered by Surprise, now gets very angry and tells Gohan that despite having surprised him with its power, it's better not to think that he already won just because of that. The evil angel moves toward the Saiyan with a powerful start, leaving a large trail of destruction across the ground whenever he passes due to the incredible power with which he moves. Gohan does no less than that, also going against his enemy, destroying the ground wherever he goes. The two, surrounded by a powerful aura of ki, go at each other with overwhelming force. When the collision happens, an explosion of energy devastates a large region of that dimension, causing destruction that reaches a radius of countless kilometers away. Vaud and Gohan remain at the center of this entire zone of destruction. One tries to overcome the other's power in a contest of strength, while they exude a powerful energy that spreads throughout the surroundings. This boy is very strong. It doesn't even compare to how he was months ago. Vaud recognizes feeling all the strength that Gohan has recently acquired with his transformation. But then the angel gets angry and shouts at the Saiyan, "You brat, don't think you're going to pressure me." Vaud increases the intensity of his ki. Gohan does the same in response. An explosion even bigger than the first happens. The two then end the contest of strength by starting to rise toward the sky in spiral movements, as if they were a tornado of power. As soon as they ascend to the skies, the two exchange powerful blows, filling the sky of that dimension with several explosions of impact and energy. To his complete shock, Vaud is being pressured by Gohan, who delivers very powerful and incessant blows to him. As he is increasingly pressured by the Saiyan, Vaud thinks, in addition to having great speed, strength, and good fighting techniques, this bastard is also very insistent. Gohan, while continuing to attack the angel, says, "You know, because my father has this ability, I know some things about Ultra Instinct. I know that this ability grants the user a very high attack, defense, and dodging capacity. But I also know that in exchange for this, the user must keep their mind and body in calm and harmony. But that doesn't seem to be the case with you. You seem like a very stressed guy." Vaud doesn't like those insinuations. "Stop beating around the bush and say what you want to say." Gohan then explains better what he means. "What I mean is that you probably have a very unrefined Ultra Instinct compared to the other angels. That's because you're completely unbalanced. My father's Ultra Instinct is so much better than yours. You wouldn't stand a chance against him." "You insolent brat." Vaud interrupts Gohan's speech in an outburst as he suddenly attempts a rage-filled attack. But Gohan predicts his movement and lands a precise blow on the angel, delivering a very powerful kick to his abdomen. A blow strong enough to make Vaud flinch in pain. Then Gohan smiles as he thinks, "I already know how to beat this guy." While the son fights in Vaud's dimension, the father fights in an uninhabited planet. Vegeta and his clone cross the skies of that planet while competing with intense blows, firing thousands of punches and kicks per second, as well as several energy attacks that create a true show of lights and explosions across the sky. The pressure exerted on the planet is great, to the point that the entire ground is full of craters and cracks, indicating that it won't be long before the entire planet gives way and is completely destroyed. The more he fights against his clone, the more the real Vegeta realizes that the clone's movements are very similar to his own, which leaves him intrigued and thoughtful. "His movements are exactly like mine. How could such a perfect copy of me have been created?" Vegeto's distraction costs him a blow, which when it hits him, launches him against a block of stone, which is destroyed by the force of the fall. But Vegeta doesn't stay buried in the rocks for long, as he destroys everything around him with his energy. Despite everything, he smiles and says that this clone is indeed a challenging opponent, which makes everything much more fun. But Vegito's smile fades, and his expression takes on a more serious tone when he begins to think about his son, Gohan, whose ki disappeared from this reality very suddenly. He wonders what's behind this when he says to his clone while starting to raise his ki, "Look, it's fun to fight someone who mirrors me, but unfortunately, I don't have much time right now. I'm going to finish you off quickly and find out what's going on." The power of destruction is released by Vegito in the form of a tenebrous aura of energy. Then a completely opposite energy appears, transmitting all the calm and serenity of Ultra Instinct. Now balancing the powers of Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct, Vegito tells his clone that this fight is over. Vegito fires a majestic wave of power at his copy, who immediately retaliates with a powerful wave of energy. However, the wave of power fired by the clone is nothing compared to the destructive power of the original Vegito, who consumes his clone's attacks with ease and continues heading towards him. When the copy is achieved by Vegito's energy, a titanic explosion happens in the sky, reverberating throughout that planet and taking its entire structure to the limit. Vegito smiles, confident of his victory after the attack. However, his smile is shattered when he contemplates his perfectly alive clone. And that's not all. Now he also uses the same transformation as Vegito, balancing the power of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. It cannot be. This bastard can transform like me too? Vegito sighs with impatience. Gogeta and Frolo are in the middle of a very curious exchange of blows. The two keep a reasonably large distance from each other, but they still exchange punches. They do this by stretching their arms, throwing distance punches at each other that are as strong as they are fast. Their arms look like simple figures, but they carry such great power that they cause several impact explosions to spread around them, creating several whirlpools and earthquakes on the planet they are on. Although the exchange of blows seems balanced, the truth is that Frolo is at a total disadvantage. Being under a lot of pressure from Gogeta and no longer able to maintain this exchange of punches, he decides to change his strategy and launch a large energy attack against Gogeta. However, Gogeta escapes the energy attack with a teleportation and, stopping above Frolo, hits a top-down kick that sends him crashing to the ground with great violence. Frolo ends up falling upside down on the ground with his head sticking into the ground and his body hanging like a nail. Gogeta lands next to him and, realizing that the enemy is completely inert, wonders if he exaggerated. But suddenly, Frolo's head comes out from under the ground behind Gogeta, firing a ki blast from his mouth. Gogeta immediately notices and dodges. Then he makes a cutting movement with his hand horizontally in the air, and the pressure of this movement hits Frolo's outstretched neck, cutting off his head. But before Frolo's head even hits the ground, an entire body appears beneath it. Good regeneration, the Saiyan praises while he can't hide his smile of amusement. "You did not see anything," the opponent responds, also smiling. Frolo concentrates his energy, causing several anomalies on that planet. Then his power manifests itself in an incredible pillar of energy, an incredibly dense energy which shows a high degree of power. Now Frolo shows a transformation that has multiplied his power to extraordinary levels. He announces the name of this form, shouting, proud of his colossal power, "Contemplate the beige Frolo." But Gogeta doesn't see it with excitement, but rather disappointment. "Dude, beige? I can't think of a color more tacky than this. It seems like the color palette for transformations is getting really limited now," the Saiyan complains. "You bastard. What matters is my power. Color is the least important thing," the beige warrior screams. "Really? So why the color define the transformation name?" Gogeta retorts. Furious, Frolo prepares to attack, saying he won't waste time with this ridiculous discussion. Gohan and Vaud make that entire dimension shake with their blows, generating countless waves of impact around them at the same time that they are surrounded by intense electrical blasts, resulting from the collision of their attacks, highly energized by enormous power. The two release a large amount of ki as they fight, making the entire atmosphere of that place extremely dense. They cover the skies and the ground while flying at incredible speed, leaving several energy explosions in their wake. Gohan fights with determination, letting all the ferocity of his bestial form overflow through his attacks. Vaud, on the other hand, despite being pressured, tries not to back down, determined not to let the Saiyan brat stand out against him. "There's no way I'm being pressured by this worm. I will not allow that to happen," the angel thinks. While continuing to pressure his enemy, Gohan says, "You seem like a very proud guy, and it must be a tragedy for someone like you to be pressured like that by someone like me, right? This must really hinder you in keeping your Ultra Instinct working well." Vaud shouts, telling Gohan to shut up, and tries an attack again, but he's hit again with an attack that is as precise as it is strong, which causes the angel great pain. With the enemy completely stunned by his last move, Gohan sees an opportunity, concentrating a large amount of his energy. He shouts, "Kamehameha!" A gigantic wave of power completely engulfs Vaud. However, suddenly all this energy is dispersed when a key explosion spreads across that place. It's the Angel's Key, which is more powerful and intense than ever. What is that? Gohan exclaims in shock. Vaud's power is so intense that it burns his own skin, and combined with the furious expression on his face, it gives the Angel a demonic and frightening appearance. You bastard! Who do you think you're dealing with? I am Vaud, the 15th son of Shinken, and I will not be defeated by a brat. Gohan immediately notices that Vaud's power has increased enormously. It cannot be. I didn't imagine this guy could increase his power so much. With an incomparably greater speed, Vaud advances against Gohan in a way that even in his bestial form, the Saiyan cannot react, grabbing him by the face and throwing him headfirst against the ground in a way that Gohan completely cracks, even the extremely rigid ground, rigid from that Angel's dimension. Then Vaud throws Gohan away, leaving the Saiyan to travel a great distance while creating a line of destruction on the ground. After that, Vaud rises to the sky and forms a small sphere of energy in his hand that he launches against the area where Gohan stopped. And even that small sphere where it hits the ground sets off a gigantic explosion. But at the last moment, Gohan managed to escape thanks to the Galactic Patrol's teleportation device, instantly arriving in front of Vaud with his fist covered in power and throwing a punch with all his strength against the Angel. However, to the Saiyan's misfortune, Vaud doesn't even move, making it seem like a simple stone hit a large, impassable mountain. It cannot be! Gohan despairs.